Hola, ¿cómo está, mi amigos? Bien, muy bien. I just got back rather late last night to the States. Um, it was a very nice trip with the wife, the family, and my son, and my in-laws. We did a riverboat cruise, which was phenomenal. I highly recommend it. I found real bang for my buck because I ended up paying for most of it for even the extended family. It was more of a gift for my wife than anybody else, but she was really happy. They had a blast. It was good couple of days. I would say it's about a week, but food was amazing. I highly recommend it. If you get an opportunity to check out one of these riverboat cruise lines, I'd recommend it. We didn't do a lot of the daily tours, mainly because we were hitting up cities that I'd worked before, so I had a pretty good idea where I wanted us all to check out and all. But it was really nice, very, very nice. And they were exceptional in helping out with my mother-in-law. She's quite old. My father-in-law is pretty old too, or very old, same age as her. He's able to get around. She is not able to get around at all. And if you've ever done any time in Europe, especially even Western Europe, you will understand very quickly that Europe is not set up for people that cannot easily walk around. The boat basically sent off somebody with us, like just basically there was somebody like, yeah, he's going to help you guys get around because she's in a wheelchair kind of thing, which they didn't have to do because I was there, her sons were there, but still it was really nice. And again, food was phenomenal. Uh, it was great. It's funny how Patrick and I are roughly around the same age. I'm guessing. I think Patrick's in his 40s, right? Mid 40s or something. He honestly kind of looks like he's in his late 40s, but I'm figuring he's like mid 40s. So you could kind of argue that he's like really old for a Gen Xer or really young for a millennial, I guess. But it's just weird how he like kind of shares way too much information online. It's like I kind of mentioned I went on vacation and I mentioned a little bit about my family, a little bit about my background, but I'm always a little cagey about not sharing too much. I'm not going to start posting on social media all the pictures and stuff. Sure as hell, I'm not going to show up on social media like my family. That's a great way to get doxxed and fuck with people. But it's just weird to me because we essentially grew up around the same time frame. And getting exposed to the internet, I would assume around the same time in high school, and like how he just never learned how to maintain his anonymity. I don't understand why Patrick does what he does. I really don't, because at the end of the day, I get the impression that he thinks he's going to become like some kind of influencer on Twitter, and it's like, bro, you're in your 40s, and it's Twitter. That's like trying to be an influencer now on like, I don't know, MySpace. Like that time has passed, and you're old. Like I'm old. Me trying to influence my kids, my son's age makes no sense. But that's kind of the vibe I get with Patrick. Is he's so addicted to social media and stuff that he thinks he's going to be the next big influencer in his mid 40s. It's like it's not happening, bro. But I noticed he's been showing up because once again he's getting swatted again, and there's all these stories about this automated swatting program or something or other. I'll come out and say this because I've heard rumors of people saying this that they think Patrick is swatting himself. I will wholeheartedly and completely defend Patrick in this. I don't believe for a second he's swatting anyone. Patrick's too stupid to pull that off. Like he's legitimately too stupid. I'm consistently amazed that he's able to maintain a single um, Twitter account. Like he doesn't have to constantly make Twitter accounts because he forgets his password. I think Patrick is fucking retarded, and I don't think he could honestly swat anyone. Like I think he would forget 911. So I don't think he's doing that. And when people say, "Well, the guy that runs this tour thing that's been swatting people says that it was Patrick," it's like, well, if you got a guy that you could pay $50 to, nearly get people killed with swatting, chances are you could pay him $50 to say anything. I'm really against swatting. I'm against swatting because it gets men, women, kids, dogs killed, pets killed. There's nothing that Patrick has said or done that warrants putting him or his wife's life at risk, or any innocent bystander at risk for that matter. And I think it's really stupid and gay, and you should go to prison for it. What I'm worried about, though, is with all the swatting shit is same thing that happened with 9/11, specifically the Patriot Act. And the Patriot Act hits me very, very close to home because I'm part of an international family and I work over in Europe all the time. One of the biggest problems for me is I can't do any kind of banking in Europe. I just fucking can't, because U.S. banking laws are fucking insane. They're so insane that the EU goes, ooh, that's too much government oversight for us, which is, when that happens, you know you're really fucking up. And this is all because of the Patriot Act. And there were plenty of people that gave plenty of warning about this when the Patriot Act was coming up. Where it's like, hey, like the way this law is written, all these different things involved in it, it's a way huge overreach. This is kind of bullshit. This is the government's using 9/11 as an excuse to really clamp down on shit that has nothing to do with the actual terrorist attacks. And we ate this up like fucking lemmings, because if you weren't for the Patriot Act, you were for the terrorist attack kind of shit. Same thing's gonna happen with this swatting shit. Same fucking thing. It's going to be some bullshit where they wrap it up with good intentions, and then it's going to come out where they're going to institute something where it's like you're no longer allowed to use Tor, or you can't have a VPN or some shit. I think the VPN thing they're trying to do with the fucking TikTok fucking like the fucking TikTok thing they're trying to pass that has nothing really to do with TikTok whatsoever. Whenever the government passes these things, they're not looking to actually fix the problem they say they are. They're looking to restrict your rights as much as fucking possible. And once your rights are restricted, don't ever expect the government or a corporation to give your freedom back. Hell, just look at I just got done traveling. You kids might not remember it, you younger ones, but back in the day, you weren't charged for your luggage on an airplane. You were not. You were charged for your second, or your third, or your fourth bag. You weren't charged for your first bag. Why? Because, what the fuck? You have to travel with at least one piece of luggage. And then there was a short period of time when the cost of fuel got really high, and the airlines go, oh, we have to have this temporary fee, otherwise we'll go under. And we also want to have, of course, government bailouts. And so we gave them government bailouts. And we, as a people, agreed, okay, these short-term fees, only just short-term, they've never gotten rid of them. And they'll never get rid of them. They'll never get rid of the fucking baggage fees. They could come up with some sort of new magical fuel that costs the airlines no money. Like somehow the airplane jets run on air. It's a free energy device, a theoretical bullshit device that somehow magically works. You'll still get charged for your first bag and your second bag. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. We're a corporation. And even though we're all quote-unquote separate companies, we're all going to work together to make sure we gouge the fuck out of you. Just like we all agree to have terrible customer service. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. Government's the same way. So that's why I'm really against people swatting Patrick. I don't like Patrick. I think Patrick's a fucking retard. And I think Patrick brings on pretty much all his shit on himself. I think the way Patrick responds to swatting encourages swatting to continue indefinitely. Like this shit, where he's posted it on his Twitter account. Hey, fuck with me. It bothers me. I get really bothered when people swat me. Please swat me. It really makes me upset. And, I'm going to talk about it non-fucking stop. Because Patrick's an idiot. I don't know how the fuck we're around the same age. I really don't. Because he acts like somebody I remember, like, as a kid, who, or I should say a teenager, who's, like, just discovered how the internet works. And they're putting all their information on their MySpace thing. And it's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. That's how weirdos, mess with you and stuff. I, yeah, I digress. But I apologize. I'm really, really behind on all the Patrick shit. If I'm missing anything huge, all I know is I kind of read up on it while waiting for a connecting flight. How there were people believing that Patrick was like self-doxing himself.